Hello, welcome to BioGreat TV. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. How Emperor Menelik II stopped colonial invaders in Ethiopia. Menelik II, who ruled from 1889 to 1913 as Emperor of Abyssinia, as Ethiopia was also then known, is no doubt one of the greatest and most revered leaders Ethiopia ever had. He stood his ground and refused to be intimidated by European forces of colonialism and achieved the rare feat overcoming them in battle. Emperor Menelik II was born Sahle Maryam in August 1844. His father was Negus or King Haile Melekot of Shewa. When his father died, Menelik became king of Shewa in 1866. When Emperor Yohannes IV of Ethiopia died in 1889, Menelik proclaimed himself emperor, claiming direct male descent from the biblical King Solomon and Queen of Sheba. But Yohannes IV had said before his death that his own son, Dejazemach Mengesha Yohannes, succeed him. However, Menelik won the allegiance of the majority of Ethiopian nobles, and on the 3rd of November 1889, he was consecrated and crowned as emperor. In 1889, Menelik entered a treaty with Italy. Under the treaty, Abyssinia and Kingdom of Italy agreed to a clear and defined boundary between Eritrea, which the Italians were laying claims to, and Ethiopia. However, unknown to Menelik, there were two versions of the treaty. One was written in Amharic, while the other was in Italian. The one in Italian gave more power to Italy than was agreed. When Menelik found out about the deceit, he rejected the treaty altogether. Knowing he was very fond of ammunition, the Italians tried to bribe him with 2 million rounds of ammunition, but he refused. Seeing that he was unbending, the Italians prepared to attack and declared war on Ethiopia. The Italian army was led by General Oreste Baratieri. Faced with an impending war, on the 17th of September 1895, Menelik ordered all of the Ethiopian nobility to prepare to fight, stating, "An enemy has come across the sea. He has broken through our frontiers in order to destroy our fatherland and our faith. I allowed him to seize my possessions, and I entered upon lengthy negotiations with him in hopes of obtaining justice without bloodshed. But the enemy refuses to listen. He undermines our territories and our people like a mole. Enough! With the help of God, I will defend the inheritance of my forefathers and drive back the invader by force of arms. Let every man who has sufficient strength accompany me, and he who has not, let him pray for us." The Italians underestimated the Ethiopian army and dismissed the nation as being a barbaric African nation whose men could not possibly stand up to white troops. That was a grave mistake, as really, the Ethiopians had better weapons compared to the Italians and had been well trained. They also were proud people willing to die defending their land. A British diplomat had earlier written about them in 1887, saying they were redeemed by the possession of unbounded courage, by a disregard of death, and by a national pride which leads them to look down on every human being who has not had the good fortune to be born an Abyssinian, that is, an Ethiopian. In the Battle of Amba-Alagi, the emperor personally led the charge as his army attacked an Italian force on the 7th of December 1895. The Italians, led by Major Toselli, were subsequently defeated, losing 1,000 men and 20 officers out of a force of 2,150. Menelik's best general, Ras Alula, followed up that victory by crushing General Arimondi and forcing the Italians to retreat to the fort at Mekelle. The Ethiopian general then laid siege to the fort. After fighting off desperate attempts by the Italians to secure the fort's well, the well was captured on the 8th of January 1896. With no access to water, many of the Italians died of dehydration, forcing the commander of the fort, Major Galliano, to surrender on the 19th of January 1896. Major Galliano and his men were allowed to surrender their arms and go free. "To give proof of my Christian faith," according to Menelik. He said his dispute was with the Italian government of Prime Minister Francesco Crispi, who sought to conquer Ethiopia, and not with ordinary Italian soldiers. Prime Minister Crispi, unwilling to accept such embarrassing defeat, sent another 115,000 men to Ethiopia and ordered the main Italian commander, General Oreste Baratieri, to destroy the barbarians. But Baratieri was hesitant to attack, prompting Crispi to send him a telegram accusing him of being a coward. When the Italians finally met the Ethiopian army in the Battle of Adwa on the 1st of March 1896, the Ethiopians again defeated the Italians squarely. At this point, Italy had no choice but to recognize the absolute independence of Ethiopia, sealing that acceptance with the Treaty of Addis Ababa signed between the two nations on the 23rd of October 1896. With this great victory at the Battle of Adwa, Menelik secured Ethiopia's continued independence, making it, along with Liberia, the only two African nations that were left untouched during the European scramble for Africa. Menelik also took great strides in modernizing Ethiopia during his reign as emperor. On the 27th of October 1909, Emperor Menelik II experienced a massive stroke from which he never recovered. He died on the 12th of December 1913. What have we missed out of this history? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel.